Bro Show. Have a day. Good morning, Bro Nation. This is the Bro Show where we talk about everything and anything and try to make sense of what's happening. The Bro Show is being brought to us by Evian Natural Spring Water. Water the way nature intended. Evian is a uniquely sourced spring water that is always refreshing and naturally hydrating with nothing added for taste or enhanced with extras. Kaya naman siguradong we can reach our natural peak. It is committed to protecting and nourishing the health of our planet and its people. Evian is available on your favorite convenience stores and grocery stores island-wide. Water is life, and Evian Natural Spring Water is the water for our life. The Bro Show is also being brought to us by Jack in the Box. Try the ultimate breakfast sandwich of Jack in the Box. 2 freshly cracked eggs, 2 slices of American cheese, and 2 slices of ham and bacon. Ultimate ang sarap, ultimate ang busog, all on a buttery bakery bun. Jack knows what is masarap. You crave it, Jack will definitely serve it. And of course, the Bro Show is also being brought to us by the Medical City, where patients are partners. For your next medical travel in the Philippines, visit the Medical City Referral Office sa ground floor ng Rancare Building sa South Marine Corps Drive. Dito po yan sa Tamuning. Call 988-8627. Choose the Philippines. Choose the Medical City. Good morning, Bro Nation. Good morning, bros. Good morning, sis. My name is DJ Doods, your true Manila man, and I am with the brilliant professor straight from the Philippines, Professor Matt Lester Mattel. Prof, good morning to you.
Good morning, DJ Dudes. Half a day sa ating mga tagapakinig. And again, it's a wonderful Friday.
We are so blessed. This Friday, isa sa mga idols ko. Isa sa mga pinaka-mabubuti. And of course, isa sa mga pinaka-matatalinong tao that I have met, who I have met. And again, we are so lucky to have not just a great teacher, but a wonderful and generous investor. One and only. Most successful real estate investor in the Philippines, El Subastahero, Mr. Noli Alleje. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Half a day to everybody there. Maraming salamat, Doods. Maraming salamat, Professor, sa pag-iimbita. No? Sana matuto tayong lahat na ngayong umaga. Baka mamaya biglang mag-life-changing moments tayo.
First and foremost, Sir Noli, miss na namin kayo dito sa Guam. I hope you can come back here. Maybe after the pandemic, you can visit, have a vacation, and maybe you can teach our kababayans here sa pag-i-invest po sa real estate.
Sure. You know, I really miss Guam. I think before, that's like 10 years ago, I used to go like twice a year. And one thing I miss there, you know, that I actually did here in the Philippines in our marketing efforts was the booth fairs. Yung mga tiyangge ng, di ba, yung Sunday tiyangge nyo. Ha?
Mga bazaars po.
Yeah, mga bazaars every Sunday. I used to love going there every Sunday when I was there. No? Siyempre, the swimming and the food.
Sir Noli, we call it Fast Talks or the Quickies with the Bros. We have, several questions to get to know who is El Subastahero.
Okay, shoot.
Professor, take it away.
We want to know the lighter side of Sir Noli. Okay, first question. Ano ang mas maswerte sa pinto sa bahay? Tinutulak o hinihila?
Tinutulak, papasok. Para higop.
Pasok ang swerte.
Bagong swerte. Pumapasok.
Ilan ang pinakamarami yung extra rice na nakain sa isang restaurant?
Pagka may kasama kang sinigang or nilaga or bulalo, siguro mga 2 extra rice. Kasi talagang masarap kainin niya pag basa. Di ba? Parang sabaw na rin yung kanin mo.
Di mo na mapapansin no?
Oo.
Nakakadalawa ka na pala.
Talaga. Tatlo pa.
Ano pong ini-enjoy nyo more? Yard work or housework?
Yard work anytime. Alam mo, masarap magdilig. Parang you're one with nature, parang didilig ka sa hapon. Yung dapat medyo kulimlim na ang araw. Then you start making dilig. Siyempre, you're alone in the garden lang, no? So, parang peaceful moment talaga yan. Yan ang enjoy ko sa yard.
Sorry, side question. Kayo po ba, meron po kayong your own garden?
Yes. Actually, I was gonna shoot it in the garden kanina, Pero baka masama connection dun. Tsaka mahangin ngayon.
Oo nga. Nasaan po kayo nung manalo si Catriona Gray ng Miss Universe?
Sa bahay lang ako sa Antipolo. Siyempre, patalon-talon din tayo, di ba? Kasama sa cheering squad.
Who is the greatest of all time? Earth, Wind, and Fire o Village People po para sa inyo?
Ako sa akin, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Ayun.
Yan talagang favorite ko, di ba?
Sir Noli, thank you so much. You are such a fun guy. May natutunan na ako kagad eh. Sa pinto dapat ng bahay, kailangan papasok. Para papasok yung swerte.
Higop.
Oo. Yun po ba ay feng shui? Feng shui po ba yun? Yung pagpapasok? Hindi naman.
Alam mo ang feng shui, ang ibig sabihin ng feng shui yan is the natural flow of life. No? Isipin mo, pag may kumatok sa bahay mo, binuksan mo pintuan pa ganun, pok! Sa ulo. Diba? Yan yung mga sinasabi na bawal tumbok. Kasi ang tumbok, pag walang preno yung kotse, dire-diretso sa bahay mo.
Oo nga.
Diba? Ito yung yung sabi nila, wag yung banyo, wag yung pintuan ng banyo mo at saka yung pintuan ng front door mo. Magkatapat. Diba? Kasi kung naliligo ka, pareho sa bukas, kita lahat, diba? So, feng shui is the natural way of life lang.
There's a flow of light, the flow of energy, and at the same time, practicality.
That's the word, practicality talaga.
Sir Noli, you are so successful with what you are doing for many decades, not just years. Talagang isa po kayo sa mga pinakamatitibay na real estate investors. And obviously, sir, you are sharing your knowledge not just to a lot of people, but to the next generation pa, para talagang matuto po kami na mag-invest po. No? Pero sir, if you could just give us a little background, paano po kayong nagsimula at ano po yung career nyo before you went to real estate investing?
Okay, maybe all the way back to when I was in college. Hindi ako bright boy. So I was lucky to get jobs more on the banking. I started off with the banking industry, and actually also head of credit for one of the banks. And I got bored, kasi day in, day out, formulas, I would enjoy it when we would go out on field and do site visits. Doon ako enjoy. Eventually, siyempre, we went to so many financial catastrophes, di ba? We had the assassination of Ninoy, di ba? And then the revolution, the EDSA revolution, di ba? So eventually, that's really magulo. And I found out that in the real estate industry at that time, you could be anyone to join the industry. Hindi mo kailangan maging real estate master, di ba? So I found out, and it was very interesting. Kasi, alam mo tayo, meron tayong ADHD, di ba? So, ang attention moments natin, siguro, parang goldfish. Di ba? Wala pang 5 seconds, doon nakatingin, 5 seconds, doon nakatingin. So it's the same, I went into so many entrepreneurial attempts. I used to have a curtain manufacturing. I used to, this Joe Wider drugs before that, mga pampalaki ng katawan. I was the Philippine exclusive distributor. I had fitness centers. I had 3 or 4 fitness centers at that time. Actually, funny nga, Guam, we were supposed to put up our first international branch in Guam. Kasi malapit lang, di ba? So we could say US-based kami, I even got into smocking. That's the dress that you make dikit-dikit and you sew the design of the girls' design shirts. So ang dami ko napasukan. And then when I got into real estate, I found that every event, every day, every property, every person I met had a different personality. So I never got bored. Then I got to realize how profitable it was. Grabe ang profitability sa real estate. Selling pa lang ako noon. And we would always say, when you are in hard times in real estate, isang benta ka lang. Parang angat ka kaagad. No? And then we went to the Asian financial crisis of 1997. That's when really everything exploded, And somewhere along the way, I realized that there was a big market in foreclosure investing. So doon talaga ako napunta. You know? So it was something like I discovered not with a purpose, but as I went along, I found out that real estate is a very, very good career.
If there is one thing that we can learn doon sa brief story ni Sir Noli, resiliency. You keep on
Tama.
trying and try, and you will get into something that you would eventually really love. At kay Sir
Yeah.
Noli, yung real estate. Yes, Professor.
Well, I was actually listening to Sir Noli. Parang nung sinabi niyang taga-bangko siya, sabi ko ganun, ito siguro yung connect, di ba? Sa credit pa, di ba? So parang baka dito siya napasok sa real estate. But when he went through, yung iba-iba niya experience, sabi ko, ang dami palang pinagdaanan bago pa pumasok sa foreclosure business. Paano niyo po ito madi-describe in a nutshell, yung kind of real estate business that you do?
Real estate foreclosure ay parang ukay-ukay. Once loved and then given away or taken away. Tapos pagka ikaw bibili ka ng ukay-ukay, siyempre titingin ka muna sa kaliwa, titingin sa kanan, kung may nakatingin yung babarkada mo, kasi bibili ka ng ukay-ukay. Tapos amoy-amoy mo, di ba? So in other words, you are going to your due diligence kung maganda ba yung bibilin mo na damit na ukay o hindi. So same thing sa foreclosed properties. No? Ito yung dating love na yung property niya, pero malaki utang niya or inutang niya para sa negosyo. Di ba? Eventually, hindi niya mabayaran, so naembargado ng bangko. So kinuha niya, di ba? Tapos ibinenta. So ako naman, ang bumibili. Dati bumibenta lang ako. Tapos na-realize ko, parang exciting din bumili. So yun. So nagbabuy and sell ako ngayon ng tawag namin foreclosed properties. Pero sabi ko sa'yo, ukay-ukay lang yan. Once loved, now hated. Ito may-ari. Di ba?
A different level of ukay-ukay, mga bahay, di ba?
Pero yan ang sequence ko doon talaga. No?
Well, thank you so much because it's easier to understand kapag ganyan po yung description na ibinibigay natin, especially doon sa mga beginners po, sa mga nakikinig sa atin na maybe they are thinking of what they can do to advance their financial life, and this could be one of the vehicles na pwede po nilang pasukin, di ba? Sir, can you still remember yung pinakaunang property na nabili nyo as a foreclose and then binenta nyo? Naalala nyo?
Oo, yan. Sobrang naalala ko kasi ngayon nare-regret ko pa rin na binenta ko. Alam mo, ito yung mga panahon na ni Robert Kiyosaki. Diba? Si Rich Dad, Poor Dad, diba?
Poor Dad, oo.
Everybody was talking about flipping, gano'n, no? And at that time, we were doing foreclosed auctions for the banks. We were the number one auctioneer for all the banks in the Philippines. No? I self-imposed ethics. Sabi ko, hindi ako bibili habang may subasta. Pero pag tapos na yung subasta, bumibili na ako. And then I saw this property in Tagaytay. It's in Hollywood Subdivision. It's the tumbok of Santa Rosa Silang Road. So talagang tumbok. Tapos when you go down a bit from there, sa slope, I could see the Taal volcano. Like
wow.
I could shoot the basketball. Really, maganda talaga. Pero siyempre, flipper, kunyari, excited, di ba? So binenta ko after 1 week. Until today, and that was, I would say, more than 10 years ago. Until today, when I drive down Tagaytay, I sometimes pass by the house just to look at it and say, my God, I should have kept that house. So that was my first exciting flip, I can say. Kasi nabenta ko kagad eh.
Yes, sir. I mean, that is so remarkable because you mentioned after a week, nabenta nyo na agad. So, sir, okay, for us, the beginners, and especially for our listeners and our audience, yung mga nag-iisip nga po na pumasok sa ganitong klaseng investments and negosyo, sir, ganun po ba kabilis yung turnover? Ano ba, makakuha kami ng property, maibebenta ba namin kagad?
It depends kung napag-aralan mo mabuti ang merkado. Kasi di ba, every time I say, when you flip properties, tatlo yan eh. Magkano mo binili? Magkano mo aayusin, magkano mo siya ibebenta. Diba? Pero dapat malaman mo yan, yung pinaka-importante ay yung exit. Diba? Kasi you don't wanna get stuck with it. Well, one advantage like the professor might say, I will have it for rent if I cannot sell it. Diba? Mm-hmm. So sa akin naman is if you're trying to do the flip, kailangan bebenta mo para ikot ng ikot yung pera mo, di ba? Kahit maliit ang kita, pero maraming ikot, malaki na rin ang kita pag sa dulo ng taon. No? So, you have to study the market always. Because it's not the buying. Kasi paminsan, mura dyan, grabe. Alam mo, wala pang 1,000 pesos per square meter. Oh, nandun ka sa bundok. Diba? Walang kalsada, walang makakita. So you have to study is the market. Alam mo, pag may pro kang pinapasok palagi, kahit negosyo, diba? Ang isipin mo palagi ang exit value mo. How do I exit from this? No? Palagi may exit. Except siyempre sa kasal. Bawal ang exit. Okay?
Bawal.
So kailangan, paano ako lalabas dito? Diba? Kikita ba ako paglabas ko? Yan.
I like the mindset. I like the pathway na itinuturo sa atin ni Sir Noli. You have to always know your exit plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know? At baka makasi madaling pasukin, pero hindi ka naman makalabas. Madaling makabili, pero hindi mo naman mabenta, and then there will be no profit. I like it.
Tama, Doods, tama.
Na-mention nyo, no, napakaganda ng experience. I'm sure sa Tagaytay, baka waitlisted na ang mga property doon. But meron ba kayong experience na like nahirapan kayo, or what was the worst experience that you had in buying a property? Yung talagang, you had challenges.
Okay, I don't really advise this for the beginners, no? Pero ako kasi bumibili ako ng basura. Mm-hmm. Okay, kaya paminsan, hindi lang El Subastahero ako, tawag din sa akin El Basurero.
El Basurero.
Kasi I buy properties na may headache, may illegal occupant, ando pa yung former owner, sobrang giba na siya, no? Mm-hmm. May annotation ng title, may demanda, yung gano'n, no? But sa akin kasi calibrated sa price. So there are still properties that I have bought 10 years ago na andun pa rin yung former owner. Ayaw pa rin umalis. No? So sa akin kasi I would call the latak. Latak properties ko na yan. So natay ko lang sila mauntog, di ba? Or kasi some of them nagigilty rin sila eh. After a year or 2 years, they call me up say, Sir Noli, punta ka na dito, bigay ko na yung susi ng bahay. And some are very nice eh. Some people, lumalabas pa yung baril sa bintana. Diba? Normally, if you're starting, dapat malinis yung property, madali mo siya ibenta. It's risk versus reward, always there.
But if you're willing to take the risk, kailangan kalkulado po, no? Talagang alam nyo yung papasukin nyo.
Exactly. And over the years, we've learned our lessons. We actually lost some assets because we did not know that the other government institutions can also take over your property, not only the Department of Justice. Yung mga ganun type. So you learn. You say, matrikula.
We are sure na in real life, in reality, may mga lumalabas pang baril sa bintana, ayaw umalis ng mga dating may-ari, giba-giba na yung bahay. Those are serious challenges po, di ba?
Yes, very very serious, yes.
Sir, how about now that we have this pandemic? I mean, this is a serious challenge po. Is it advisable for individuals or for a group of people po, for example, na mag-invest po sa property, bumili ng properties or kaya po magbenta?
Ang sa akin, no, after ECQ, right after ECQ, nag-GECQ na, kumuha ako ng IATF pass kagad. Ikot ako kagad. So I started looking for properties and I thought it was ripe because the way I looked at it was the banks know big assets are coming. If you actually follow the news, the banks have increased their loan loss provisions. You know, sabi nila, hindi tayo makakolekta nito, i-loss na natin yung ibang value niyan. No? So yun. So my advice is, if you're buying now, you buy the 5 years old and above properties. Na-foreclose siya, mga 5 years ago and above. Kasi itong mga properties are highly negotiable. I was able to buy a subdivision in Silang, naswerte ako, and I was able to buy a condo in Mandaluyong na price was siguro mga launching price. No? So you just really have to look very well and negotiate very well. Now, a lot of people are asking, paano to? Meron tayong pandemonyo. Di ba? Paano papasok ngayon to? Ang pagbili namin. No? Actually, if you will notice, we had the Bayanihan one, in the Bayanihan 2 that extended the credit period. No?
Mhm.
But right after that Bayanihan 2, the increase in non-performing loans was almost 100 billion. From 250 billion, naging 350 billion kagad. In other words, the banks are very aggressive because they don't want to see, mga floating dito, negative collections sila. No? So, they filing right away. I see foreclosure. Siyempre, meron pa yan, no? Professor Doods. Meron pa yan tinatawag namin na period of redemption. So,
Mhm.
pag na-foreclose na yung former owner, meron pa siyang 1 year.
1 year, opo.
So, the way I see it, they foreclose maybe November, December na yan, no? Tapos pupunta pa sa court yan, may extrajudicial foreclosure sale pa yan. So, tapos may 1 year redemption. So, maybe you're looking at 2022 for all these new properties to come in. Pero yung mga luma, the banks know they have to unload this before the new ones start coming in. So, 5 years and above is good.
Okay,
Dubai.
so there is really an opportunity right now. Katulad nung nasabi sa atin ni Sir Noli, way back when nagkaroon ng maraming political turmoil sa Pilipinas, pero yung real estate, it always presents opportunity to prosper eh. Diba? Laging nandoon, hindi nawawala. Unfaltering yung makukuha nating opportunity doon. Yes, Professor.
For those who are starting, who want to get into the business, meron po ba kayong formula na sinusunod? Like you mentioned about weighing the risk to reward ratio. Aside from that, ano po yung mga maipapayo nyo na parang fundamentals po ng pag-flip ng property na pwede nilang sundin if they want to get into the business?
Okay. May I always ask, kasi a lot of people ask me, Sir, what do I need to get started? Sabi ko, nag-ipon ka na ba ng investment fund? Diba? Kasi baka mamaya tatanong ka sa akin, wala ka pa naman pera pang invest, diba? So I always ask them, what's your investment fund level? Diba? So sabi niya, Sir, I have 1 million to invest tomorrow. Okay, tapos sabi ko, parang, what else do you have? How much is your cash flow percentage investable fund? So let's say, for example, sweldo mo, 50,000 a month. Diba? I can maybe set aside 20%. So meron akong cash inflow na investment fund na 10,000. So hanap tayo dyan ng property na meron siyang 20% down payment for a 5 million peso property na magmamatch na 10,000 a month ang monthly amortization mo.
Mhm.
Diba? So we can leverage also. You see, a lot of people think cash is king. Actually, leverage is king for you to be able to jump quicker. Diba? As long as your debt and equity is balanced at saka kaya mo. Now, papasukan mo dapat, meron kang dapat na reason. Bakit mo kinukuha yung property? I've seen some people that ask them, ba't mo binili yung condo na yan? Wala lang. Wala lang. Di ba? Kasi sumama ako sa roadshow. Bumili ng barkada ko, bumili din ako. So there has to be a reason. Are you gonna use it? Did your kamag-anaks there? Or when you go home, you're going to retire? Are you gonna rent it out? Are you going to flip it? So kailangan malaman mo kasi andun yung base. For example, you're getting a property to rent out. Dapat may job market ang area. You're going to flip. Marami dapat immigrants na pupunta doon. May growing positive migration sa lugar na yun. If you're gonna use it, may magandang eskwelahan ba dyan? May magandang, if you think now of your family and your personal needs. So if you follow that path, you'll be on the safe side. Saka siyempre, umpisa muna, siyempre bagito ka, malinis muna ang property mo. Walang problema, walang former owner, walang clean. So you can use it right away and you can flip it right away.
Clean property muna po,
Mhm.
malinis yung mga documents, di ba? They can easily take over kapag nabili na po nila. And then eventually, if we are as experienced and as knowledgeable as Sir Noli, yun, pwede na tayong medyo maging adventurous katulad ni Sir Noli.
That's correct, yes. And that's where the risk and the reward system comes in. Yeah.
Sa mga naghahanap po ng future things to do, napakahalaga po niyan lalo na ngayon na may pandemic, we are really realizing that na kailangan talaga mag-isip tayo ng other ways to profit, na magkaroon tayo ng ibang sources of income, di ba? Sir, ano po ang masasabi nyo doon sa mga nag-iisip-isip pa, mga hinahanap pa nila yung kanilang mga path? Bakit po magandang mag-invest sa real estate?
Okay. Kasi ang real estate, properly managed, no? Properly sought well, due diligence and everything, is a very good foundation for your wealth building. Ako, sabi ko palagi, especially yung mga nag-invest sa stock market, galit sa akin palagi yan. Okay, di ba? Nag-dispandemonyo. Yung ano nangyari dyan, 50% up to 70% yung portfolio mo. Yung 1 million mo, naging 300,000. Di ba? Yung real estate ko, yung 1 million ko, 1 million pa din. Hindi siya bumaba. If, something hits the fan, I still have my land. That's backed up by my title. Unlike if a stock market, magsara yung company na yon, nag-rehabilitate siya or something, you're stuck with nothing but a piece of, paper. Ganyan, virtual paper pa nga. No? That's why real estate is a very, very good way to start your foundation. Even at good times, I always tell married couples, real estate muna before anything. Kasi iba na talaga yung meron kang bubong sa ulo.
Sir Noli, maisingit ko lang po naman. Ito yung common question po na ng typical na pamilyang Pilipino or nagsisimula pa lamang. Meron po bang kailangan i-consider if you want to buy a house or rent a house? Ano po yung mga konsiderasyon dapat po na isipin ng ating mga kababayan when they're deciding and weighing their options?
Okay. Pagka bago pa lang kayong kasal, hindi nyo pa alam saan talaga kayo titira. Mag-rental muna. Kasi si Mr. taga Bacolod, si Mrs. taga Parañaque, saan kayo titira? Parañaque or Bacolod? Parang gano'n, di ba? So, for example, sabihin mo nga, doon tayo titira kay Mrs. O sige, sigurado ka talaga yung biyenan mo, hindi ka sasabunutan araw-araw. Di ba? So, dapat upa muna para flexible. Maybe after a year, sabi by that time siguro you already have a baby, di ba? So you now look into a peaceful place, secure place, may eskwelahan malapit. Nakapagpili ka na ngayon, dito tayo magtatayo ng ating ancestral home. This is where we're going to put our foundation and this is where we're going to grow our family. Then you buy. Kasi yung iba dyan, a lot of people, I know, especially the millennials today, they invest already on the property where their family is going to live. Wala pa silang pamilya. Di ba? Mara mo yung asawa mo ay sumama sa iyo dyan. Hindi paano may investment mo. So, it takes time lang.
Wow, very considerate. Very considerate. Ang ganda ng perspective ni Sir Noli, di ba? O sige, mawa ka na ng bahay mo. Yes, you're settled, secure ka sa sarili mo. Paano naman yung kapartner mo?
Tama,
Right?
Lalo na kung di mo pa nakilala yung partner mo, di ba? Hindi natin alam kung taga saan yan, di ba? Tama.
I've been following Sir Noli Alleje. There are so many platforms kung paano tayo pwedeng matuto kay Sir Noli. At Sir Noli, meron kayong isang minsang na tackle sa isa po sa mga lectures nyo. Isa sa mga videos nyo rin po. And for our listeners and for our audience, you can look for the lectures, for the lessons of Sir Noli Alleje sa YouTube. Nandun po. It's very rich. Napakayaman po talaga ng mga materials na binibigay sa atin ni Sir Noli. Sir Noli, meron kayong share minsan na when you buy a house, tapos tirahan mo, at the same time, habang tinitiran mo, pwede mo rin siyang ibenta. Right? Can we expand the explanation about that?
Ang tawag ko dyan, gypsy, home investor. Kasi alam mo, gypsy, di ba, sa Europe, sa kariton lang yan, kung saan lumilipat, di ba, gano'n. Pwede mo rin gawin yan. Bago kayong kasal, na? You buy a small house just to start the family. So you're there now in the house, and you say, this is where we're going to live, in Cavite area. And then, once you're finished with the house, you bless the house, and then you make tusok the sign for sale. And then you continue living there. Ang maganda kasi dyan is hindi ka pressured. Kasi pag tinawaran ka ng, itong presyo gusto ko, I'm enjoying my house. Diba? Why should I lower my price? You cannot push me against the wall for me to accept your price. People love to buy a home, not a house. So when they go there, they see happiness, they see naayos yung ilaw. Kasi pag di ka nakatira dyan, pag pundido yung ilaw, pinapabayaan mo lang. Pero pag nakatira ka dyan, yung ilaw, papalitan mo, yung faucet, ayusin mo, kasi you live there. So you better manage your house, which eventually becomes a better home. So finally, a buyer comes, he sees the house. There's always a buyer for every house, for every home. You know, you just have to look for them. And then he pays you, siyempre may premium ka, di ba? So you can now move to a bigger house. And after you move to another bigger house, you bless the house again, tuk, lagay ng sign uli, for sale. Ganun, ganun, ganun. Eventually, makikita mo, pataas na pataas yung value mo. Tapos pwede ka nang bumili ng dalawang bahay. Yung isa yung titirahan mo na for sale, yung isa if for rent mo or if for sale mo pa din. Pero hindi to ginagawa every quarter. Maawa kayo sa asawa mo sa pamilya. Every quarter, di ba? Kakabarkada lang anak mo, bigla, nawala na yung barkada ko, di ba? So you can do maybe, it's a slow process that you can just enjoy. So when people say, your house is your worst investment, it's your biggest liability, so I don't believe in that. For me, it's the best. In this pandemonyo that we're experiencing, kung wala kang bubong sa ulo mo, pagkain at saka upa ang isipin mo. Eh ngayon, meron kang bubong, what may worry? Pagkain na lang, kayang-kayang tipirin ng pagkain, di ba?
I like it. Professor, hindi lang tayo natututo sa real estate, natututo tayo sa buhay.
Sa buhay, tama.
Tayo sa diskarte, di ba? Right? Yes, Professor.
Kasi nakwento ko sa mga iba kong kaibigan na we're talking to Sir Noli, they're thinking of buying a condo or a house. Ano ba yung mas okay na investment? Nakadepende ba ito sa tao? Ano po yung maipapayo nyo?
Actually, maraming factor yan na whether it's a house or a condo, di ba? Like for example now, all of a sudden, people are going to the houses. Kasi after this pandemonyo, nakita nila, nakatrap sila sa four walls, you know, and they cannot even use the amenities. Bawal bumaba sa gym, bawal gumamit ng swimming pool, bawal tumakbo sa labas. Unlike if you're living in your house, you can walk in your, kahit small garden, you can walk in your garden pa din. So that's why there's a move now from the metros, ang market ngayon lumalabas. Sa may Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, sa Pampanga, Tarlac. Why? Kasi abot na ngayon with the transportation systems that we have. All the XX that are coming. Andun siya ngayon, madali yun sa abutan. Unlike before naman, when people were so talking about the Pogo, di ba? Everybody wanted to buy a condo because the Pogo was renting it at 200% premium. So everybody wanted to get it. So it depends on, as I said, why are you buying? Dahil ikaw ay gagamitin, papumpahin, it depends so much on that. Even location, people say, is a very personal. Me, I moved up to Antipolo. Although the market values here were slow in moving up, but I enjoy my garden. I enjoy the trees, I enjoy the fog, I enjoy the fireflies in my garden. Some of my friends, they chose Green Meadows. They made more money, but they don't enjoy the amenities of nature that I enjoy. So iba-iba talaga ang trip mo. Pero ngayon, house ang pinaka-hot market.
For us, na talagang if we are going to look, in the future and a little beyond, talagang siguro po yung bahay, malaki talaga yung maitutulong sa pamilya.
Yes.
Sir Noli, napakarami po naming natutunan sa inyo, and I hope we can, talk to you again in the near future po. I know thank you po, sir. And I know you're a very busy man. Sir, pero paano po kaming makakapagpatuloy na matuto po from the master, El Subastahero, at yung iba po na gustong magsimulang matuto po sa inyo? How can we get in contact with you po?
Okay, I have a regular how to invest in foreclosures. It's actually a free webinar that I normally conduct. Siguro sa isang buwan, siguro mga twice, except for this November. Medyo nag-gap period lang kami. I got a slot in Webinar Jam, and I began doing my online. So it's a regular program we have. It's how to invest in foreclosures. You can get in touch with me with my Facebook page. El Subastahero. Lagay mo lang sa Google, El Subastahero, and Google will find me. You can just message me there, and I can give you the schedule, and I'll see if one day how I can invite the Guam group naman. Most of your, we can have one special for your group.
Oh, thank you, sir. And I hope after this pandemic, makabalik po kayo dito sa Guam, and perhaps we can, have a seminar for our here. Yes.
I so look forward to that. Actually, we were really in the planning before the pandemonyo, I was saying, why don't we have a, seminar in Guam? Kasi sa akin, malapit lang ang Guam.
Professor, any last words for Sir Noli for today's episode?
Nothing but thanks for Sir Noli. Marami ako natutunan personally. I'm sure yung mga tagapakinig natin marami natutunan mula sa practical applications ng feng shui hanggang sa pagbili ng bahay or condo. So a lot of eyes were opened, and it's good that Sir Noli, nabanggit ni Sir Noli kung paano siya ma-reach ng ating mga tagapakinig, because I'm sure after this, he would certainly get a lot of questions and inquiries. Marami pong salamat, Sir Noli.
And salamat sa inyo din.
And Sir Noli, it's not just to learn from you, right? We can also invest with you.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Sir, can you just give us a brief idea kung paano po pwedeng magawa yun?
Okay, we have a new program actually it's in Tarlac, no? Because Tarlac, we made an analysis. It's actually the economic gateway to the north, no? Alam mo ito sabi mga XX, di ba? Yung NLEX, tapos nag-open ng SCTEX, tapos may TIPLEX, tapos merong CCTEX. Yung CCTEX, kabanatuan yun, no? So you notice that the T is always there, which is Tarlac. Andiyan palagi ang T, no? So sa amin, it's the gateway, no? And we were able to acquire a subdivision there, so for close subdivision. We rehabilitated it, no? And we came up with what we call the buy, build, sell. And we give the opportunity for our co-developers to be able to acquire one lot. But you will not live there. It's an investment, the lot. You buy one lot, I will get a builder to start building the houses, and then we will sell the houses, and then we will enjoy the profit. We will all go laughing to the bank, because we have approximately around a 50% ROI in 2 years. In 2 years.
Wow.
So 50% ROI. So it's mga package namin, 240, 360, $500,000. Pero affordable siya. At saka yung safe dyan is may lote naka-assign sa'yo, na naka-earmark sa'yo. And what was fantastic about it was last November, ang Ayala Land bought a property, 290 hectares, beside by 5-hectare property, mga 3 kilometers away or 4 kilometers away. No? So, and then they launched. They're selling their shop houses na. They're selling their industrial properties. Don Bosco schools moving there. Then they're going to be launching their house and lot program. Kaya maganda ang namin. Plus, the Luisita Industrial Park, which is, I would say, number 3 na yan. So numbers 1 and 2 is full already. Number 3 was 2 kilometers away lang. They're gonna open the industrial park, so you can have more people coming in. And we're already building the first 3 model units, plus we're now doing the back wall already of the next 100 units. 100 units lang ang ina-offer namin as co-developer. So, yun ang exciting. Exciting.
Very exciting. In no time, sir, in the very near future, I mean, that place will be booming with so much activities, with so much economy, with so much industry.
Yes,
wow.
Yes.
Okay. Sir Noli, maraming salamat po sa inyo. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your knowledge. And thank you so much for your good heart. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Maraming salamat, DJ Doods and the Professor.
And to you, our friends, bros, sis, if you want to learn from the best, if you want to invest with the best, if you want to win with the best, well, one and only, El Subastahero, Sir Noli Manuel Alleje. Again, sir, thank you so much. And Professor, maraming salamat din sa iyo.
Maraming salamat, Sir Noli, DJ Doods. A lot of things to think about after hearing Sir Noli talk.
I have learned a lot today. I've learned a lot, not just concept, pero yung mga keywords, due diligence, leverage is king. You always have to have your reasons. Yung sinabi kanina ni Sir Noli na hindi siya bright boy, sir, sorry that is the only thing na hindi ko pinapaniwalaan sa inyo. That is the only thing.
Baka textbooks, di ba? Like school smarts. Kasi there's really that innate intelligence sa tao, di ba?
palagi na sa end of the section, 301, 310 ako. Nauna lang ako pag alphabetic at saka pag height.
Very bright mentor, teacher, and of course investor. Talagang again, if you want to really learn from the master. Well, the master is Sir Noli Alleje. Thank you so much, sir. Maraming salamat po. And ito pa isa, before we end our episode, you always have to have an exit plan.
Yun.
Ang ganda ng sinabi ni Sir Noli.
Tama.
Yes. Again, Professor, maraming salamat po. Sir Noli, again, maraming salamat po. And to our bros and to our sis, thank you so much for always listening to your Bro Show. My name is DJ Doods, and I'm always reminding you to work hard, to be kind, to pray harder. Amazing things from God will definitely happen. Please enjoy the weekend, and God bless everyone.